It's been
just know America owns Kenya.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, they determine elections.
Yeah.
They decide the type of food that we eat, GMOs.
Yeah.
They decide, I could go on and on.
Yeah, so today, the launch of American Kona Mtaani at Kenya National Library Services was set. Apparently, they're saying the vibrant hub is all about sparking creativity and innovation among young Kenyans. And some Kenyans are not really happy about it.
Me too.
Yeah, if you want to look at it on X, you might look at that story.
So why aren't they happy, though?
Some guys are just saying this seems like there's some USA colonialism going on. And it's really not what they want. And the US wants to have 3 more military bases in Kenya.
I
don't know if you've heard about that.
They already have one as well.
Yeah, so the US wants to have more military bases, and it's really crazy how the government is really, in cahoots with them.
So every time our president, whoever represents our country, when they get out there and try to get into deals with some of these Western nations, especially the imperial masters.
Yes.
We never really know some of the deals what's in store, because me usually say there's nothing like free lunch.
Yeah.
Now get this, you guys should be worried, because this country sometimes I feel like it's just being sold off behind our backs.
True that.
You know what I mean? I mean, who knows? Next thing, 3 military barracks.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Guys, we need to be very concerned.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the idea of having an innovation hub here, because there's a lot of Kenyans who have a lot of great ideas, a lot of creativity, but they don't have places to take them. And as we can see, the government's not going to help you be able to build that. So for the Americans coming in to help, with all of this, it's good. Someone's recognizing that there is opportunity here. Yeah. So even if they want to build a barracks, if you look at the bright side, it means your innovations are going to be known. You'd rather be, talking about how the government's not doing stuff when you're out of the ghetto, but not you're in the ghetto, you're trying to get out and you're saying the government's not helping you, and then everyone who's coming in, you're shutting them down. It doesn't help.
I like how you put it, but for me, I look at it differently, in the sense of how of course America is part of IMF, World Bank, and all these other guys, and they are also behind some of our crazy tax policies. So the best thing that Americans can do, this American government, this embassy, the best thing that they can do is help make life easier for general Kenyans. Every Kenyan, not just artists, not just talented individuals. You know what you do? And by the way, and this is the thing I don't like about, even during electionary periods, usually say, why don't you usually get talented Kenyans? Go get talented Kenyans and give them a platform so that they can showcase their art. My friend, that platform will not take us out of the ghetto.
It will not, yeah.
The best thing you can do over here is reduce our taxes, reduce the expenses that we spend while doing biashara. For example, the cost of electricity, the cost of fuel. Bills in this country is making, especially Nairobi, is making artists go crazy. I'm going to create a dope piece of art, but I can't even afford my rent. I can't even afford transport.
And selling it
I can't
in
afford
Kenya,
a meal.
Selling it in Kenya is just sad.
And it is these guys who are putting our government in a corner in order to tax us crazy so that we can pay off whatever.
But the reason they're putting you in a corner is because the government of Kenya does not know how to spend money. They are like, okay, I'm going to state this out there. They're like, when you give a kid 1,000, you tell them go to the shop and buy your stuff, and they buy everything that they can get their hands on. And you're like, okay, where's my change? And they don't have it. That is the government of Kenya. They don't know how to spend money. They know how to go out there and borrow. So most of these people have never had huge amounts of money, and so when they get it, they go out of the country to invest in other things outside there. But if they decided, let's just, for this whole 2 years that we're here, let's just focus on building this country. Let's focus on every single amount of money that we can get in this country generated back into this country.
Yeah.
If you're business minded, you know that if your business is going down, you need to generate income and put the income back into the business to build it back up.
I agree.
But they're not doing that.
The relationship between Kenyans, especially younger Kenyans, these educated younger Kenyans, the way I heard you telling Willie Oeba, our relationship between us and imperialists, Western nations, is done and dusted. The perception that they've left for us is that they don't really care about our well-being. It's almost as if they're just here for business. You know what I mean? So that is why, JP, you're saying, you're reading the comments when you're talking about the American embassy saying they're going to do what for artists.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Kenyans don't believe them. And even if they do, they don't care.
I think what Kenya needs is a group of economists who can come together and actually tell us how to move forward with all of our debt, all of our bills, everything.
The economists will be paid to lie to us. So you guys know that the IMF has already approved the 78.3 billion shillings. Yeah, but and that, I think yesterday or today it's on the dailies. They actually were talking about how you guys now we're giving you this 78 billion, but you have to make sure that the economy improves. ABC. I mean, the issue about spending of the government has to decrease.
What does it? Let me
I
ask
like
you.
that.
What does it? This, I'm tired of certain general words, generalities, truisms. Oh, we're dealing with corruption. We're going to do away with corruption. We're going to improve the economy. For me, do you know what shows that an economy is improving? When the people have money in their pockets. As far as I'm concerned, you know that age group between 18 to 24. Every year, millions of these kids, because they're very young, millions of these youth are jobless. They get into the job market, but they can't find jobs.
Yeah.
How are you going to tell me that you're going to use 78 billion to improve this economy, but we still have millions of youth who are jobless? How does that even make sense, Stephanie?
It doesn't make sense.
How?
Yeah.
No,
It is only until the day you put money in the pockets of farmers, young farmers, guys in the MSMEs, guys in the creative industry.
Yes.
That is when that money that they have will have a trickle-down effect. They're going to start taking care of their families. They're going to employ other Kenyans. But until then, it's only people in the macro space, the corporates, for example. These, how do you call them? Experts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the expatriates. Those are the guys who enjoy this country. And maybe me and you and JP.
Speaking of expatriates, and this is where I feel like our country is headed, honestly, and you guys may prove me wrong maybe in a couple of years. If you've taken a trip around Gigiri area, have you seen the changes? They've also been saying that around 1,600 Americans are coming to Kenya. Guys are getting jobs here. It's happening.
Oh, they're getting
already.
jobs?
Yeah, they're coming in batches.
That's a bunch.
If you go through Gigiri on some areas, there's many chunks and pieces of land that are being rebuilt. They're building mansions, penthouses, dope cribs. And this is what I foresee. There's going to be a time where you cannot just drive your car into Gigiri.
Of course.
You cannot just drive your car into Runda and certain areas. Like, there are going to be barriers, and if you have a card to be in that society.
Because of the number of unemployed Kenyans.
Exactly. So you don't just go into those areas.
Yeah.
There are going to be security checks all around.
Yeah.
So they're going to divide the classes. So it's going to be real talk. Like the upper class, the rich guys, they will not mingle.
Yeah.
They're going to be these special malls, special retreats, special hospitals. Everything is going to be sidelined. Like, you'll just
exclusive.
Exclusive. You'll just be hearing about Runda like some place. You're like, remember those days we used to go into Runda? Yeah, man, we could access 2 rivers. Now you can't. You don't have money.
Let me tell you where we're headed, man. We really need some radical surgery.
Yeah.
We need to go deep. And I feel so sorry for the president, and I wish him success, to be honest with you. Because if he wins, we all win. But I'm sure his biggest headache is not even paying that debt. It's getting young Kenyans who actually have skills, getting them jobs.
Jobs, man.
Because they're in their millions. They are in their millions, and it's not a good look. I mean, for us to get to where we're going, for this country to be proper progressive, people need money in their pockets. This is not the type of conversations that I like to have sometimes, especially at like 9:30. But it's the truth of the matter.
Yeah, it's a fact, man.
That's our environment.
True.
I can't hide from certain things, man. And it's scary. It bothers me, bro.
I like how you say you see a problem, but I see an opportunity.
It is also an opportunity, of course.
There's millions of Kenyans who will not have a job, like you said, between the 18 to 24 bracket. So I'm reading this book called The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. And this is where majority of people, this is where the riches are. So forget looking at Gigiri, forget looking at Runda, forget looking at all of that. That's not where the money is. The money is down here. And because let's say you've got 1 million unemployed people. No, you don't really have 1 million unemployed people. You have 1 million people who can basically move your product for you. You've got 1 million opportunities.
But I think they're going to use those people in the low pyramid scheme to make them rich, and that's how they're going to sideline. So it's the poor guys or the guys who are make us money so we can live better.
So you could either look at it as JP's way, where he wants to make himself rich, or you could actually come up with ideas where you can empower some of these youth. For example, Nairobi is a filthy city.
Filthy in the sense of dirty.
There's trash everywhere. So if you were to take that trash, and there's a company here, I hope they're still doing it, where they take the trash and they make cabro out of it. They make blocks out of it, and then they rebuild some of the houses with it. If we did something like that, we'd actually be able to clean up the city and fix the roads, which, by the way, my gosh, these roads over here, these potholes are starting to look
it's
like.
crazy. Let me tell you, see all these brilliant ideas that you have? Oh, our politicians know them. People afford it.
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping there is one investor out there who's looking for an investment. You're listening, and this is something that you could start doing.
Exactly.
For sure.
But I like how we're so hopeful. It's 9:36 right now. Let's take a break. Listen to more tunes. Dreamer, BB, and the Q Band. I love it when we come back, guys. You know, there's this whole conversation that you started on Friday about influencers getting plastic surgery.
Yeah.
But now there's somebody who's called them out, and this guy is called Sabato. He's really called out.